Hello and welcome to Deliberately Creative. I'm Stephanie and I want to welcome you to another drawing lesson from the sketchbook. This time we are doing a pail of candy corn. And this pail could be decorated any way you want. I happen to do a cute little bat with some sparkly stars and bare trees. You could do this for any holiday, any event, any celebration you want. Fill it with any candy that you like also. Come with me and I'll show you how fast, fun, and easy this really is. I saw this cute little tiny pail. So I'm going to draw a little pail. And this pail is actually filled with candy corn. And candy corn is one of those candies, you either like it or you don't. And I'm in the I like it group of people, but I can only eat a little bit of it because it's very sweet. Now let's see here. My pail is getting a little tipsy. So I am going to just fix my pail. Now this bottom curve needs to match that top curve. And I'm glad that I widened it out. There we go. And then these sides are fairly parallel. They actually do slope in just a bit. So I think I got those about right. And now there is a kind of little rolled edge on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and just give it that little tiny rolled edge. It's kind of where they would crimp the bottom onto the sides. Just like a tin can almost. And it has a metal handle that's coming out and going down and around. And because of the turn on this, or how the can is turned away from us, you only see this side. You don't see the other side because the handle would be joining in somewhere around the corner about here. So that's how we get that little metal wire handle in. It goes all the way around. And we wouldn't see where it's poking through and bent over on the other side because it's going to be filled with candy. There's method to the madness here. So let's see. There's only a couple that are full on where you can see them. And there we go. So candy corn basically is just a vanilla confectioner's candy. There's not really much flavor to it. But it has this really interesting property to it of being almost like a hard frosting, I think is really what it's like. It's hard frosting with a little bit of a wax to it. There's no wax in the candy corn from what I can find, but that's what it makes me think of. And it's just fun to eat it. Bite those little white tips off and then work your way down. That's at least how my sisters and I used to eat it. There we go. And I'll go in with I will go in with the Inktense blocks and give it the color and shadows. But, you know, there's really not that many pieces, like I said, that are whole that you see as a whole piece of candy. You see little bits, corners, edges. But really, this one right here is the one that you see pretty much completely whole. Then we've got these bits, like that's the back end of one of them. And there's like one that's that way. And then we've got another one that's kind of sticking downwards. Sort of like that. Now, if you look at this, what I've been doing is drawing them so they're kind of like little triangle boxes. That's all it is, really. Little triangle boxes. So I've got a triangle. I'm going from the tip and I'm coming back down a little bit wider and then going across. There we go. So that I think is probably enough. Well, maybe one more. Maybe one more that's kind of sticking up on its edge, going across this way. And that would be the wider end there. And we will have a couple pieces laying on the table, but I need to give it a bit of a table for it to be sitting on. So let's look at that. Try to get it sort of going across. There we go. And now that would be an awfully big one. I'm going to make a couple right here. I don't really want it to be quite that big. There, and then where that little pen line went, I'll just make another one right here. There we go. And maybe one more that's over this way. So it has kind of an oval to the bottom of it, just the angle that we're looking at that. So we're there. How's that? I think that's kind of fun. So what this had on it was like a little bat flying around. So I can make this, turn these little thingies, turn into some branches. On, you know, like painted on the tin. There we go. See? Just because I had drawn those lines on wrong the first time doesn't mean that I can't incorporate them into my tin. And then I'm going to do some little, kind of like little 5-pointed stars. It's really funny. I had somebody, when I had said something about maybe, you know, boring people or putting too many videos up on a day or something. I can't remember exactly what I was talking about at the time. But she came back and she goes, you know, I'd sit and watch you show me how to make 5-pointed stars. I think she was talking about the ones where you drew your triangle, or where you would draw your star like that. But, you know, that's your elementary school star. But this one, these are little irregular stars. Give it a little bit of sparkle and shine just by putting little ray type lights out. Maybe a few dots to make it look like it's really more nighttime. There we go. See, we can do fun, quick, and easy things. And Then there was this cute little bat. So it's going to have almost like little cat ears, because that's what this little bat has. Then it comes down around his head, and then it goes up and out and swoop, 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 then back, and it just comes around. It's almost like it's a flying head. Up and out. It's going behind the tree, and then back. And then he just has these really big eyes, kind of looking forward. Remember, this is like a graphic on a tin, so it's not as detailed as it could be. And I'm going to go ahead and give it another little star right here below him now that I know where he is. You see how I work that out, right? Sometimes you wait on some of the details until you've gotten all of the stuff in that you want in. Now, I am going to go ahead and give myself some little shadowy type lines coming around, mostly around the base and the rim, because those aren't going to paint in as well. And I want them to have kind of a rolled over type of feeling to them. And you see how I just made that a little bit wider there so it went beyond the edge? That just gives it that illusion of dimension. It's those tiny little details. That sell it. And there we go. Now you could make this little tin and fill it with Christmas candies, or fill it with some bonbons or some truffles, put a different little design on it, and then you could give that on a card as a little gift. There's so many different things that you can do. You're not, limited. The only way that you're limiting yourself, or limited, is if you limit yourself. There we go. And now I am doing this with the sepia pen, but I'm going to grab my black pen here in just a second and go ahead and quickly put some color in on those trees. And then we will move to coloring in the candy and we'll be done. So I hope you're enjoying this. And if you are, please click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with your friends. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab the black. I want to put a bit of black in on my little bat. I'm not going to color him in completely. I want to leave some areas of white because that makes it look like he has a bit more dimension. So leave like a sliver of light on the top of his head, on the corner or one edge of his ears, and color in most of his face. That way his eyes really stand out, and his little teeth that we left white. But to make it look real, or to make it look more like those little teeth were left white on purpose, you can't leave any little white spots near the mouth. I might end up having to put a little bit of white paint or maybe some white ink tints on that, because those kind of disappeared. Now I'm putting some shadows up inside. I'm leaving some little white spaces on the wings. Look at that. Aww. Cute. And then I'm going to quickly just do that scribble coloring. Because really, this tin is not going to get painted any other colors. The only thing that's going to get painted for the rest of this is the candy, because that's really what this is all about on this one. And because that's so thick up there, I need to thicken this up just so it looks a little more believable on a candy pail. I guess it doesn't need to be believable, does it? But it does. My sense of it says, yep, it needs to be believable still. And then color in the other tree really fast. I hope you don't mind. And I think that was probably one of the, it was something like that when the person said they'd watch me paint 5-pointed stars. I want to put a little bit of white on those tips that are going to be white, just to sort of preserve them for my memory a little bit. There's not very many of them. There. One right there. And I know you really can't see it, so I'm trying to be real quick on getting those in. They're kind of a gray-white, it looks like, for that ink tints. All right, and now we are going to go orange. And, oh, that's a nice candy corn orange. Ooh, that's a real candy corn orange. That's kind of fun though. Just painting them in. Okay. Woohoo, that's a nice bright color. Candy corn has those bright, bright colors. Put in some shadows and we will be done. So what I am going to do is, let's see, I'm going to grab a tiny bit of kind of a violety purple and mix that with my yellow. And that's going to give kind of a gray tone. Kind of a purpley gray, but sort of a gray tone. And what that does is that gives me shadows that are still in with the yellow. See? And what it also does is it allows some of that yellow to become the highlight on the yellow areas. Look at that. Look how quick that just, boom, they became more three-dimensional. Now the orange that's right here, I am going to be taking a little bit of a blue. Kind of a bright blue, I think. Let's see. Ooh. So that made my shadow for the orange. Actually, I might even, no, it's a little dark for the, white areas. But that's what I'm testing things out. And if it works, that's awesome. And if it doesn't, I can just not do it to another one. Wow. Oh, wow. But there we go. We have done a fun tin with candy corn, a cute little bat, and you've learned how to do something that you can then take and change to make other neat little cards or a little painting to put into a frame. Look at that. And a couple of spots of gray on those. All right, and I'll just put my little signature right next to the tin. There we go. If you like this, please click that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends, make sure you've clicked that bell so that you'll be notified when new videos go up. And as always, go out and do something creative. Take care of yourself so you can take care of those around you. And I hope to see you back here again really soon. Bye-bye.